Hello everyone, Meteorologist Jordan Darensbourg here. I hope everyone has enjoyed their Sunday evening so far. It has been quite a warm day in Central Texas today, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to take a look outside at our downtown weather camera, and we're going to show you how warm we actually got today. So we were mostly dry today, but take a look at the airport as well as Camp Mabry. We were feeling lucky today, folks. We got to the double sevens, so we were feeling lucky while feeling warm at the same time, kind of like that lottery winner out in California was, but still a little shy of our record high of 82. However, there is a possibility that that record could fall as we head through the day tomorrow. We're going to talk a little bit more about that in a moment. Now, your allergy count does have cedar in the high. Same story for mold. That northwesterly flow is really contributing to that, even though right now we're looking at more of a southerly flow and it's a light wind overall. But when you've got those warm temperatures, especially out in the hill country, as well as those winds being kicked up, and by the way, those soils in the hill country are bone dry, that is where we could have extreme fire danger for today. It's mainly over portions of Mason County, but there are extreme western sections of Llano County, as well as extreme northwestern Gillespie County that are included in this as well. But we've also got very high fire danger still for most of the rest of the hill country, and areas along and west of I-35 immediately are mainly looking at just high fire danger. But in any case, if you're out in the hill country, or really anywhere in Central Texas really, please, please, please do not burn anything outside for any reason today. Grilling, firecrackers, no, none of that. Please, we do not want anything to cause a spark and cause any significant issues. So please, if you are west of I-35, it would behoove you to take a pause on the fireworks celebrations, especially since there are burn bans for a lot of the hill country, so fireworks would be included. I guess you're going to be better served off using a drone show as opposed to a fireworks show. Now for tonight, across the entire region, we're mainly looking at lower 50s for lows, and that mainly does include the I-35 corridor. Some areas may only get down to those mid 50s, and we could still see some 40s in places like Kyle as well as San Marcos. Clear skies still persist. Now Monday though, this is going to be the main story for Monday. These temperatures are going to be quite toasty, and I'm going to go ahead and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this full because we could have temperatures getting to around 90 in some spots. Look at this. 87 for Mason, but 88 for Llano, even 89 for places like Johnson City. So it is going to be quite toasty. Let me go ahead and redraw that last one, Johnson City, because that was not at all hot. I covered the number there, but there we go. 89 for you guys in northern Blanco County. Some areas in the coastal plains may still get to the lower 80s, but I officially in town have a high of 85 at Camp Mabry and as well as the airport. And the record high for your Monday, for the penultimate day of 2024 and the penultimate day of the year is 83 at both locations. And with that 83, hold on, let me redraw that. That's just, I cannot draw right now. But anyways, 83 is your record at both Camp Mabry and the airport, right? So 83, with that being your record, and look at Camp Mabry, 85 degrees, Del Valle, 85 degrees. I think both reporting sites are going to see records fall for the next to last day of the year. So it's going to be quite toasty to end 2024. But take a look at the guy off to the upper left part of your screen. That's a cold front, and that's going to come on through late Monday night, early Tuesday morning. And as we head through Tuesday afternoon, we're going to be looking mainly at around mid 60s for highs because we're going to get a good northerly push behind that front. And while, yes, lows Tuesday morning are going to be similar to tomorrow morning, that northerly push will really feel its effects in the afternoon. So we're not going to get as warm as we were for Monday on your Tuesday, which is good news here. Your averages are mainly going to be at around 62 anyways. But as we head into Wednesday, that northerly flow is going to persist, and that northerly flow, as a result, is going to keep us mainly in the upper 50s for a lot of us. Some areas may try to get to the lower 60s, especially the closer you get to I-10. But by and large, as we get into the start of 2025, it's going to be quite a chilly one. So make sure you have the jacket if you're going out doing any of those New Year's Day celebrations. Now, overall, we're looking at your New Year's Eve forecast with lows on New Year's Eve morning getting down to around 50 before we get to those mid 60s for highs. And I'm guessing for right as the ball drops, right as your balloon drops or whatever, and as we hit 2025, we're going to be around that 50-degree mark, maybe even a little milder than that, before eventually getting down to 40 for your New Year's Day morning, before there is that outside shot of mainly even getting to 60 in some spots. There is a bit of a warm-up, though, after New Year's Day. New Year's Day is going to be the coolest day of the next 7. We are going to warm up a little bit as we head into your Friday. We're going to be getting to the upper 60s for that. And if you're planning on flying to Atlanta probably tomorrow, we could be getting to the lower 50s at kickoff at noon as our Longhorns take on Arizona State in the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl in that college football playoff quarterfinal. Hopefully the Longhorns can get it done against Sam Levitt and company, especially with the comments that Sam Levitt has made so far this week. Now, as we look at the next 7 days, we are going to warm up a little bit, but we only have some minus rain chances. Well, actually modest rain chances, only around 10%. So not really much in terms of rain that we are expecting over the next 7 days. We do, of course, have that cold front coming in for tomorrow evening into early Tuesday, but then we're going to gradually warm on up next Sunday back to those mid 70s. I am going to mention this, though, and I think this is going to be a little bit on the very important side. I have seen some extended model data, but I haven't really mentioned it on air because I don't want to really lock things in yet, but it does show, a lot of extended models do show quite a bit of a cool down for the middle of January. Now, I'm not going to show any of those graphics on air quite yet because I'm not really convinced that it's going to happen. I'm not going to really lock it in yet, and I'm not going to really read into it. But these are just things that I've been seeing, and once we get better clarity that we are going to have a much chillier weather pattern, then we'll talk more about it over the course of this upcoming week, which, by the way, will end 2024 and enter 2025. So that's pretty much what I've got for you as far as the fire weather concerns, as well as the record heat for tomorrow before that cool down for New Year's. So let's go ahead and let's recap what I talked about for today before we call it an evening and get ready for the 10. We do have that elevated fire risk mainly in portions of the hill country. There's that high to very high fire danger, especially in places like Llano, Fredericksburg, out toward Blanco even. Bernie's involved, even though Bernie's not in a viewing area. But when you look at Mason, they have the highest level of fire danger. That's pretty rare, even for our area, to have the highest level of fire danger, and that's for Mason County. So a lot of those areas are under burn bans anyway because of that dry ground, because of those winds as well, and because of these warm temperatures. So please, 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 I would lay off on the fireworks and I would just stick to drone shows. Tonight's low is getting down to those lower 50s for most of us, but it's tomorrow I want to point out because we're going to have highs getting to those mid to upper 80s, and it is going to be breezy, winds coming out of the southwest out ahead of that cold front. But when you look at Del Valle, in addition to the airport, the record high for tomorrow is 83, but we're looking at around 85, maybe even upper 80s in a lot of spots, especially in places like Georgetown, actually much of Wilco, as a matter of fact. Georgetown, Round Rock, Taylor, Hutto, Leander, Cedar Park. You guys could be getting to those upper 80s as well. So sunny skies, upper 80s. That's probably going to be laid out by the pool weather, but by the time we get to later on your Monday night, that's when that big cool down is going to be. And let's show you that again with that front moving through right as we head into Tuesday morning. We're going to be starting off similarly to Monday morning. However, as we head into Tuesday afternoon, we're going to have that northerly flow in place, and the temperatures are going to be limited to those mid-60s because we're not going to get as much radiational heating as a result of those winds. Those northerly winds are going to limit that. Now, as we head through the start of 2025, this is New Year's Day. We could only get to the upper 50s. Some people are saying 60, some models are saying 60, but I'm not necessarily convinced that we will break 60 until we get more consistency that we do actually get to 60 here locally. Now, there are some spots closer to I-10 that are going to get to around 60, don't get me wrong, but a lot of areas are going to be stuck in those upper 50s because we're going to still have that northerly flow in place, and what that's going to do is limit that radiational heating for New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. And also for New Year's Day, we're going to add a few more clouds as well and a little bit of humidity. We don't really have any rain chances in store, but by and large, it is going to be much cooler for New Year's Eve and New Year's Day than what we're going to be experiencing tomorrow. Now, for New Year's Eve night, heading into New Year's Day, as we head to midnight, I'm thinking mainly lower 50s by the time that ball drops. So maybe even around 50 in some areas out in the hill country, may get down to the upper 40s right as that ball drops and we ring in 2025 officially. But by and large, we're going to be staying in those upper 50s for highs on New Year's Day for most of us. There could be some spots close to the I-10 like Luling, maybe Schulenburg, LaGrange, maybe San Marcos could get to those lower 60s. Now, over the next 5 days, though, after New Year's Day, we are going to warm up a little bit. We are going to eventually get to those upper 60s, getting to around 68. Not seeing a whole lot in terms of rain chances here locally or in Atlanta. So if you are heading out to the 404 for the Peach Bowl, that college football playoff quarterfinal between our Longhorns and the Arizona State Sun Devils, make sure you do have that jacket handy as you're tailgating for the game. Now, for the actual game, the roof is likely going to be closed because it is going to be a bit on the chillier side. Temperatures mainly getting to the lower 50s there. Now, over the next 7 days, though, one more look at that 7-day forecast before we get set for the 10 o'clock show. And one thing I do want to point out is, yes, we do have that 85 for today, but we're going to warm right back up to those mid-70s by the time we get to next Sunday. So a gradual warming trend, but past the 7-day, like I talked about, a lot of the models are showing a huge cool down for the middle of January, but I don't want to really read into that right now. And the reason for that is because the models at that point aren't always going to be the most confident, so I'm not going to really lock that in as a forecast officially just yet. So keep it here to the KView Weather Impact Team. We are going to have all of the latest as we head throughout the course of this week, especially as you get ready to ring in 2025. Thank you.